She told me her son was spending Christmas with his real father. Then she accepted a Sydney transfer on my behalf, without asking. She said if I didn't like it, I could divorce her. So I did both. I took the transfer and I filed for divorce. My name is Dylan Hartwell. I'm 48, a corporate attorney who specializes in international mergers and acquisitions. For the last 12 years, I built a career helping companies navigate complex restructures, offshore holdings, and asset protection strategies. Ironic, considering I never thought to protect myself. I married Stephanie 14 years ago. She came with a 5-year-old son, Blake, a bright kid with his father's athletic build and his mother's sharp tongue. Blake's biological father walked out when he was 2, chasing some yoga instructor to Bali or Barcelona. I never cared enough to remember which. I stepped in. I coached his Little League teams. I sat through parent-teacher conferences. I paid for the private coaches and the camps that got him recruited by 3 Division I programs. I have 2 daughters from my first marriage. Claire is 20, finishing her junior year at Georgetown Law. Maya is 16. She still lives with us, quiet and observant, in that way that makes you wonder what she's really thinking. Their mother passed when they were young. Cancer. Quick and merciless. The warning signs were there, scattered like breadcrumbs. I was too tired to follow them. Stephanie started seeing a business development coach named Richard. Her interior design consulting, which had once been Pinterest boards with the occasional client, suddenly required evening strategy sessions. She bought new clothes, changed her perfume, and even started pronouncing words differently, like she was auditioning for a life I wasn't invited to. December 23rd is when it crystallized. We were having dinner, just the 4 of us. Maya had made her famous garlic bread, the kind that fills the house with warmth. Blake sat at the table, scrolling through his phone, probably looking at scholarship offers. Claire was home from school. Helping set the table, Stephanie walked in, phone in hand, that particular smile playing at her lips, the one that says she knows something you don't. Blake is spending Christmas with his real father, she announced. Setting down the silverware with deliberate precision, the room went quiet. Not the comfortable quiet of a family at peace, but the kind that precedes something breaking. "Excuse me," I said. She didn't meet my eyes. His father reached out. "They've been talking. Blake wants to spend the holiday getting to know him."
Ow.
Blake didn't look up. The kid I taught to throw a spiral, whose college essays I edited at 2 a.m., couldn't meet my gaze. "We can discuss this," I said, keeping my voice level. "Years of negotiating million-dollar deals teach you how to control your tone, even when your world is tilting." Stephanie laughed, sharp and cold. "There's nothing to discuss, Dylan. He's his father. Blake deserves to know his real family." Real family. The words landed like a slap. Claire's fork hit her plate with a clang. "Blake, is this what you want?" I asked. Finally, he looked up. "Full ride to play football at USC?" He muttered. "Yeah, I should get to know him, right?" Maya pushed back from the table without a word and walked upstairs. I heard her door close, gentle but final. I turned back to Stephanie. "Where is this reunion happening?" "He has a cabin in Colorado. We'll drive up tomorrow." Her smile widened. In that moment, I saw clearly this wasn't about Blake reconnecting with his father. It was about her reclaiming something she thought she'd lost. I was collateral damage. "I'm going to make sure Blake's comfortable," she said. "And Dylan, if you have a problem with any of this, you should know I accepted the Sydney transfer. You start February 1st. I stared. My firm had been pushing me to relocate to our Australian office for 2 years senior partner position. Massive salary bump, complete relocation package. I'd turned it down twice for her, for the family. Now she'd taken it on my behalf. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I stood, walked to my study, and closed the door. There were things I'd archived. Old emails. An unread job offer. A private investigator's final report I'd moved to a folder 6 months ago, when things first started to feel off. I opened it. Every late-night strategy session, every lie about working late, tell receipts for trips that never appeared on any company calendar. I opened my laptop and started making calls. 3 time zones away, the sun was rising in Luxembourg. My estate planning attorney answered on the second ring. "Dylan," he said, "it's been a while. I need to activate the contingency protocols." I told him to do it, all of it. There was a pause. "Are you certain?" he asked. I looked at the family photo on my desk. Stephanie smiling, Blake in his football uniform, my daughters on either side. "Consider it done," I said. "They left before dawn." I didn't watch them go. I was already on my 3rd cup of coffee. The phone on speaker. 3 laptop screens running. "The trust restructure is complete," my Luxembourg attorney said, his accent precise. "All assets previously held in joint tenancy have been reclassified under the Hartwell Family Trust. With you as sole trustee and beneficiary administrator, the house transferred to its subsidiary holding company this morning at 4 a.m. Eastern. The deed shows Hartwell Properties LLC as owner. Your wife's name appears nowhere in the documentation." I sipped my coffee. "What about the vehicle corporate lease under your firm's name?" "I've instructed the leasing company not to renew when the term expires next week," he replied. He paused. "Dylan, I must ask you certain about this course of action." "I've never been more certain," I said. Maya appeared in the doorway in pajamas, phone in hand. "Dad, did Mom really sign you up for Sydney without asking?" "She did," I said. "That's messed up." "So what are you going to do?" "I'm going to accept the position," I said. "I'm flying out Tuesday to finalize arrangements. Pack a bag. Essentials." "You're staying with Claire at her apartment in Georgetown until I get back." "Why can't I stay here?" "Because this house is about to get very complicated, and I need you somewhere safe." She studied my face, nodded, and then said quietly, "But Dad, whatever you're doing, I hope she deserves it." I smiled for the first real time in months. "She does, sweetheart," I said. The flight to Sydney was 13 hours of uninterrupted planning, business class. Noise-canceling headphones, 3 encrypted calls to attorneys across time zones. Harrison Cole, the firm's managing partner, met me at the airport. He was surprised. "When Stephanie called last week, I thought she was joking," he said. "But you've turned this position down twice." "What changed?" "Priorities," I told him. I signed contract after contract. I made modifications. Corporate housing registered solely in my name. Vehicle allowance as a direct lease to me. Signing bonus deposited to an account I would specify. Harrison raised an eyebrow. "That's unusual," he said. "I'm in an unusual situation," I answered. He didn't press. That evening I video called Claire. "How's Maya?" "She's fine," she said. We ordered Thai food and watched terrible reality TV. Maya hadn't asked too many questions. "What are you doing, Dad?" "You remember what I taught you about asset protection in divorce proceedings?" Claire asked. "You're invoking the premarital capital clause? Does Mom know?" "Not yet," Claire said. "But she will." 3 days later, the trust representative made contact. Documents were delivered. On December 28th, Stephanie's lawyer called her at 3:47 p.m. Mountain Time. I know the timestamp because my attorney forwarded me the records. Claire called me immediately, barely able to contain herself. Maya recorded it. "Send it to me," I said. The audio arrived 90 seconds later. Stephanie's voice came through first, casual, unconcerned. "Hello, Stephanie? It's Richard Polson, your attorney." "Oh, hi, Richard. What's going on?" "I'm actually at dinner right now." Plates clinking in the background. Richard's voice tightened. "What exactly did you let Dylan do?" Stephanie laughed, dismissive. "What are you talking about?" "Dylan's been planning this for years," Richard said. "You signed trust documents in 2019 after you refinanced the house? Did you read what you signed?" There was a long, stunned silence. Stephanie's voice grew smaller. "What do you mean, gone?" "It's no longer in your name," Richard said. "It's held by a trust entity, and you're not listed as a beneficiary. The mortgage was paid off 3 days ago using funds from an account you also signed control of. The house, the investments, the cars, even the checking account, they've been legally restructured. The postnuptial agreement you signed in 2016 has waived your rights to property purchased with his premarital assets." "You signed it?" She choked out. "I thought it was for estate planning for his daughters." "You signed it, Stephanie? Notarized? Fixed?" "This," she cried. "That's what I pay you for," she sobbed. "Stephanie," Richard said, "I can't fix what you signed away. It's airtight." I sat in the Sydney hotel room and felt nothing. No satisfaction, no guilt. Just the cold clarity of a plan executed properly. Stephanie flew back to Denver on January 2nd. She came unannounced. Her key still worked for now. She found me in my study. I sat there, looking rested and tanned, in clothes she'd never seen before. "We need to talk," she said. I gestured to the chair. She sat slowly, scanning the room. "Where's Maya?" she asked. "With Claire in Georgetown," I said. "You sent her away." She leaned forward. "Dylan," Richard called. He said, "You've been moving assets around." "I haven't moved anything," I said. "I claimed what was always mine. You can't just lock me out of everything we've built." I opened a drawer and slid a thick folder across the desk. Organized, tabbed, color-coded. "Let me show you what we've built together." I pointed to the deeds, bank statements, corporate leases, and tax records. The house was purchased in 2011 with money from a trust my grandmother left me, and paid in full in 2019 with dividends from premarital investments. The Range Rover is a corporate lease. Your interior design business brought in $12,000 total over 14 years. You signed a postnuptial agreement in 2016. You waived your rights. She stared at the papers like they were written in a foreign language. "What do you want from me?" she whispered. "Nothing," I said. "I want you to leave. You have 10 days to remove personal belongings. After that, anything left will be donated." "You can't do this," she said. "You're being cruel," she accused. "I am done being convenient," I answered. On January 4th, Blake called. "My scholarship got canceled," he said, voice smaller than I'd heard in years. "What happened?" I asked. "I don't know. The coach said there were issues with my paperwork. My guardian's signatures aren't valid anymore." I closed my eyes. The scholarship applications I'd signed as his legal guardian. The FOSSA filings listing him as my dependent. All of that changed when I terminated the guardianship. He's 18 in 3 months. His mother or his biological father can sign now. His father won't. Then Blake can take out loans or get a job. I'll manage like millions of other students, I told him. He begged to talk in person. I thought about the kid who used to fall asleep on my shoulder during car rides, the boy I taught to throw a spiral. I thought about whether to soften the lesson. In the end, I answered, "No. You made a choice. Live with it," Maya called 10 minutes later. "He's crying," she said. "I know," I said. "I spent 12 years being his father. Your mother spent 12 years letting me," Maya said. "The moment it became inconvenient, they decided I was expendable." "Dad, I'm proud of you," she added. Maya's high school winter awards ceremony was January 10th. You flew back from Sydney for it. Stephanie showed up wearing the pearl necklace I'd bought her for our 10th anniversary. She looked composed, like the last 2 weeks hadn't happened. Maya won the Principal's Excellence Award. In her speech, she thanked her teachers, Claire for helping with college apps, and her dad for showing her what it means to stand up for yourself even when it's hard. Her words landed like a benediction. The applause was thunderous. Stephanie sat perfectly still, white-faced. After the ceremony, Stephanie pulled me aside. "Blake called," she whispered. "He lost his scholarship. Can you do something?" "I terminated my legal guardianship," I said. "I'm no longer responsible for him officially." "That's not fair," she pleaded. Tears real this time. "Can we go to counseling?" "No," I said. "This isn't one mistake. It's a pattern. It's you making decisions that affect my life without consulting me. I love you maybe, but I can't live with someone who doesn't respect me." She reached for my hand. I pulled away. "The divorce papers will be filed next week," I said. "Your attorney already has the details. I suggest you read them this time." The divorce was finalized on Valentine's Day, February 14th. We met in a conference room downtown. Attorneys on both sides. Documents spread across a mahogany table. Stephanie looked smaller, thinner, wearing Target clothes instead of Nordstrom. Her attorney, Richard, asked for spousal support. Denied. The post-nuptial agreement waived that claim. He asked about marital assets. The transfers were documented. The house was in trust. Her claims were denied. She walked away with exactly what she brought into the marriage. Nothing, save her personal belongings. A car, once she secures insurance, and the $12,000 in her business account. "You planned this?" she asked, voice broken. "I protected myself from exactly the scenario you created," I said quietly. "When you decided I was disposable, you signed," she said. I handed back a part of my life and walked out. In the months that followed, Claire called. "How do you feel?" she asked. I thought about the man I'd been 6 months earlier, tolerating disrespect because confrontation seemed hard. Then I thought about the man who stepped into the sunlight. Not bitter, just free. "Free," I said. "I feel free." Months later, I stood in my new office in Sydney on the 43rd floor, overlooking the harbor. The opera house gleamed in the afternoon sun. Maya was enrolled at an international school. Claire had plans for Melbourne. Blake texted that he'd gotten into community college and was working a part-time job. "Not forgiveness," I replied when he wrote, "just acknowledgement that you're trying." I transferred the education funds to a trust for my daughters. Money my wife tried to claim was now protected. Stephanie filed for bankruptcy. She was learning to live on her own. Blake struggled with his choices. I felt relieved, not cruel. I had stopped carrying a weight that wasn't mine. Some stories don't end with reconciliation. Some end with boundaries, with self-respect, and the quiet knowledge that you did the right thing, even when it hurt. I was finally at peace with that.